Okay, so apologies about that bit of technical difficulty on that end for just a second there. If you guys did not point that out, I would not have known what was going on with that. Either way, I think everything is fine there now. So once again, on with late night racing, first race of the season, Italian Grand Prix, as we get through the wet qualifying session. Only a short qualifying session, so just down to, I think it's a few minutes remaining right now, possibly about 8 minutes or 9 minutes or so. I think it is remaining. We got quite a few lap times in. Just waiting for a few of these guys down at the bottom. I think just Angry Dutch and Ryan left to get their lap times in. Unfortunately, having a bit of a difficult time trying to set that at this point. Actually, let's have a look at Angry Dutch guy right about now. In the Victoria, still trying to get a lap going here, but we have seen quite a few invalidated laps since the session actually began. So hopefully he's able to pull this off before the session comes off to a close. Not sure how that's going to work out, but let's see what's going to happen as we get around to it. Ryan is still having some trouble in the McLaren as well, getting a lap. I think he finally got one in at 130.8, goes up into 11 so far. Lassie Larson still fastest in the session, 126.8. And previously he did have a 127, which was the only 127 on track, and he now gets a 126. So it's looking highly unlikely that anyone is going to be getting past his current qualifying time. So it looks like he might be holding on to a provisional pole for the start of the 25% sprint when we do get around to that in how much time is left here in qualifying. But either way, looking pretty good in the qualifying session though, from the 128 with Joseph in second going all the way down to that 131 there. I think it's pretty interesting in terms of what our starting grid is going to have happening on the opening lap. I know that at least the top 10 are going to be pretty close getting through turns 1 and 2, and it might lead to quite a few cars sustaining some damage as we get through that. Might be a possible safety car, might be a possible VSC, or might just get on through completely free of any of that. Maybe just a yellow flag situation with a few of these guys possibly going a bit wide or going off track, but we'll see what will happen in the case there. Who are we on? I think we're on with the Angry Dutch guys still at the moment. And just going back, Russell just Ryan had a 130.8. Lewis down to 16th, a 136.8. Not working out the best for him. I think it's a bit difficult for some of the drivers at the moment in terms of just getting a lap time in. Not sure how the setups are working, if they just brought the setup for the dry tracks. And I think they did not possibly expect a wet qualifying getting into this, especially for the first race of the season. So they're going to have to just work their way through this and then try to make this up somehow in the race session itself. We'll see if there's going to be any rain in either the 25% race or maybe the 50%. Not sure how that'll work out for them, but we're going to see what's going to happen. Let's get back on over here. So I think Lassie Larson getting back out for another lap here in the Haas at the moment as he now gets to sector 1. Let's see what that's going to work. Joseph still in the pits. You got 5.5 minutes remaining in the session. Still a lot of time left for him to possibly try and get the fastest time. And we got Wayne now goes up in the second fastest there. A 127.9 would have been just a few tenths off of Larson's time. Of course, Larson now has a faster time, 126.8. So they need to try and somehow get an even faster time in here if they do want to take away that professional pole for the start of this race. Hopefully not a wet start, because I think that's going to be a bit of a disaster for quite a few drivers getting through that opening turn. It's a heavy braking zone down to turn 1 and makes it that much more worse when it's wet on track. But let's see what's going to happen in the case. But as we have it, there's under 5 minutes remaining now. Lassie Larson still fastest, holding on to professional pole with a 126.8. Impressive lap. Wayne quite an impressive lap as well. The only 127 currently now on track, a 127.9. Only a tenth away from a 128, but still made it in. Would you rather into third, a 128.0. Only 9,000th of a second off of getting into 127, so he did not feel too far off. We got Joseph down to P4 at the moment on the grid at 128.0, 11, call it whatever you want. Just about 1/100th of a second off of getting into the 127s himself. Got Blumchum down to 5th, 129.1, Tunable in 6th, 129.3, Angry Dutch Guy in 7, 129.3 as well, but just separated by about 3/300th of a second, so not too far off from each other. So it's looking pretty close between quite a few of our drivers here getting through the qualifying session. Got 4 minutes left here right about now. Let's see how this does change up as these guys get around. Trying to have a look and see if Larson is going to get a faster timing when he does get around, because I think he's getting on a hot lap here right now. I think Ellis is on a lap here as well. Let's have a look. Ellis being, of course, Larson's teammate here. So let's see what these two hot drivers are going to do in this race, because Ellis, I think, is trying to get a faster lap in if she can possibly getting as close to that 126 that her teammate has there. But let's see what that works out for him. Get around the parabolic, come back onto the start finish straight. So gonna get started with the lap here right now. I don't know if she's pushing it all the way or possibly giving up on this current lap. Doesn't seem to be going as fast as we would expect here. Actually does not, so might be an abandoned lap here. Getting through with this allows Ryan to get through there as well. Now let's get back out in front here. Where is Joseph on track? I think he's trying to get another lap in. Alright, so with that background again, let's have a look at the Ferrari driver. Let's see, this lap is going to be an improvement of that 128.011 that he currently has. Getting through final sector, and got just about 2 minutes left in the qualifying session as well, so not too much time left to get this done. We do have a few drivers who are unable to get a lap time in, but did DNF the session. And doesn't seem to be an improvement of his previous lap there, so we'll have to probably stick it to the 128.0 unless he tries for another lap on that same set of tires on this current go that he is on right now. We got Woody Wilder and Wayne back on outlaps here again. See if they're going to try and get a faster time and possibly try to take away provisional pole here from Lassie Larson there. I think he's definitely, as far as I can see in chat, he's hoping for a wet race this evening here, getting through the session. Might just have some more luck with that in terms of possibly getting a win here. Still might be a bit difficult for him holding the just holding that lead going into turn 1. It's gonna have to make it through that and then extend that as much as he can, getting on through the race. We'll see what's gonna happen. Teammate, of course, Ellis down in 11th, trying to get up a few positions, but back into the pits right now. Not sure if another lap is going to be attempted or not at this point. So Larson still fastest, Wayne still in second, Woody Ryder still in third, Joseph still in fourth, Blomstrom in fifth, Butler still sixth, Aaron Riley 7, Lewis in 8, Toonville down 9th, Angry Dutch getting 10, Dunners 11, Ellis 12 now. I think someone down at the bottom went somewhere in the middle of the grid. And then we got Ryan 13, Jackie 14, Death in 15. Got Hindre, Gingy, Zach, Aaron, and Mogi. Unfortunately, were not able to get a lap time in that would stick and just hold them somewhere in the middle of the grid. Hindre and Gingy did get lap times, but that's unfortunately not going to work out with the sort of time that they currently got. Let's have a look on board right now. Is the rain getting any worse down at the end? And that's about 2 seconds left now. I think that's it. That's the end of the qualifying session right now. So we're just waiting for whoever's currently running a lap to finish their current lap, and then we should be able to have a look at that results, and then get straight over into the sprint, the 25% race. It'll be a bit interesting with that as well. I think most of the drivers will start to retire off the session right now as well. Okay, that makes sense. Ellis letting us know she didn't have enough fuel actually to finish that current lap she was on, which explains why the car was actually going that slow. So drivers usually have to set an amount of fuel in the car before they go for a qualifying lap, and that amount of fuel will of course be able to run a certain amount of laps before that car actually runs out of fuel, and that's why it was running so slow. That unfortunately cost us some time there, and we'll have to possibly be starting the race down there in P12. We'll see how that's actually going to work out. I think that's it. I think everyone's currently finished with their lap, so we should have a look at the qualifying results here for the short qualifying session with LNR Esports. Let's have a look at that and we'll go straight into the 25% race. Alright, so fastest driver there in the qualifying session. First race of the season, Italian Grand Prix. We got last person starting P1. Looks like Wayne will start second. We got Woody Ryder starting third. Joseph will start fourth. Blomstrom in fifth. We got Butler starting 6th. We got 7 for Aaron Riley. Lewis in 8th. We got Tunable in 9th. Got Angry Dutch Guy in 10th. Dunners in 11th. Ellis in 12th. We got Ryan in 13th. Jackie 14th. 15 for Death Con there. Hindre in 16. We got Gingy in 17. Zach in 18. Error in 19. And Monkey all the way down to 20th on the grid. Had a bit of a nasty accident. I think it was in the qualifying session itself. So I think that's going to be it for qualifying. We're going to head straight over to the race session and let's have a look on how that's going to work. Remember guys, there's a 25% race session based off this qualifying results, and then we'll talk about how that 50% race is going to work when we do get around to the end of the 25%. So let's give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to load the next session on, and we should be ready to go. Good to have all of you guys on the live stream itself watching. I know most of the drivers are on watching. Some of them will watch after the race is finished as well. Make sure you guys do leave a like on the YouTube video there. Remember, we are currently live on Twitch and Facebook as well. Do follow us there. But mainstream usually done on the YouTube channel as we're currently on there right now. Okay, so on the formation lap here for the 25% race, we got a full grid of our 20 drivers in this. Let's just get a few stats up on screen so we can have a look at a few things as it is there right now. So let's bring tires on, have a look at the starting grid as they get around on the formation lap through. Looking to be a dry start to this race, looking quite sunny out as well, so hopefully dry race all the way through. Normally it's going to be a 25% race, so this is only going to be 13 laps. We're looking at a one-stop strategy for this, because they will have to make that one mandatory stop as far as we know. So Lance Larson started P1 as we went through the grid order down in the qualifying session. We're still going to go through back 8 here. So Wayne will be starting second on the grid. We have Rather in third, Joseph in fourth, Blumchum starting fifth, Butler will start sixth on the grid, Aaron Riley starting seventh, Lewis will start eighth, Tunable starting ninth, Angry Dutch Guy starting 10th, Donner starts 11th, Ellis Smith starts 12th, Ryan will start 13th, Jackie there in 14th, Deadcon in 15th, Hindrigo in 16th, we got Gingy in 17th, Zach 18th, Eric 6 in 19th, and Moki down in 20th. We'll see how that grid order changes as they get through the opening lap. We got a bit of a different strategy situation going on with our top 10, at least 3 of those drivers on the mediums, the rest on the softs. We can see the top 2 are on the mediums going on through. Planning to run a bit of a longer strategy stint into the first half of the race, at least getting through that, then switching to the softs to go down to the end. We'll see when that switch is going to happen. Of course, those on the soft behind them will have that bit more of an advantage in terms of getting through the first few laps. As we can see, it is going to be a one-stop strategy there for basically everyone on track, unless they take some damage or there's a safety car happening and might change things up a bit. We'll see how this is going to work out, but mostly we're looking at one-stop strategy for most of these cars here. And we're going to switch this on over to, where is it? There we go. Let's switch that over to position change. You guys can have a look at that as they change positions on the start of the race and getting on through and get on board with Wayne here. Got Lance Larson in front of him on the left hand side. He's going to be on the outside of turn 1. Get McLaren of Wayne on the inside. Woody Rather and Joseph just behind this. Gonna have a look at the two of them. Blumchum just behind that. Let's see how that start is going to go between them here. Got 5 lights on, and let's see who gets a better start. Gets a bit of an equal run going down into turn 1. Looks like the Haas of Larson gets out pretty well. We're going to get back on the overhead cam, have a look and see how this goes straight down into turn 1. Got a few cars going side by side on this, and this might get a bit messy as well there as Woody Ryder comes alongside the McLaren just a bit, but gets back onto the racing line. I think we're going pretty well so far. I don't think any major incidents down at the back that we are currently aware of. Either way, everyone seems to be getting through pretty well. Quite surprisingly, not even a yellow flag I noticed in that situation as they all get through that first sector and into the next turn right about now. A few tenths between most of these cars as they all get on through, and they got a bit of contact going on there with the AlphaTauri of I think Jackie, and that was probably Zach there in the Aston Martin getting around. From what we saw, not sure, but hopefully that was the situation what we just called up. Not entirely sure what we just saw happen over to the Mercedes. Either way, having a bit of trouble. He's off track just a bit, trying to get back going there, and I think he's down in 19th right now and running. So let's switch this back up at the top of the grid at the moment on with Woody Ryder. We got Butler out there. What's happening to his car? Might be a safety car or a VSC. Let's have a look. He's on the side of the track here, and it's a virtual safety car for that incident. Definitely had to have contact with somebody. There were some close gaps out in front. That VSC possibly is going to group them back up just a bit. We do have some cars who might try to take a pit stop on this occasion here. We can see what the grid order changes are currently. We're going to switch this back to tires at the moment and see what's going to happen in that case as they all continue to get on through with the session itself. We got I think a bit of a change to the order at the moment. Let's see what's happening. I think our grid order is just a bit mixed up right about now, so let's ignore that for the time being. Looks like Butler's is officially out of the race with that there. Ryan all the way down to 19, currently into the pits. Era 6 in the pits there as well. Let's get back out in front with Lance Larson in the Haas here. See what's going on with that. He's gonna still be under the VSC getting on through. waiting for that virtual safety car to be over so they can get back racing at this point here right now. I think they're waiting for that as well. A 7-10 gap right now between Wayne and Larson out in front. Of course, absolutely no overtaking at this point. We got 3 cars currently stuck just a bit way behind as everyone else gets on through. And there we go. So track is green. They're back and good to go again. I get somewhere in the midfield here. I'll have a look on how currently it's going here because we got a few close gaps, I think, from what I can see here, getting on through. Anthony Dutch guy with a 410 gap to the car in front of him, and that's Aaron Riley in front of him as well. So a pretty close gap the two of them have right about now. So that's working. Joseph just lost a position here and I think he's disconnected from his car from what it seems right about now. So I'm not sure what's happening in that situation. There has the Aston Martin of Durner's getting past him right now, going up into 8, and I think he's still, I know his AI is still pushing that car forward. Out in front, a 9-10 gap between Larson in lead and Wayne down here in second. Trying to have a look at see what the gaps are as we go on further down the field along the back. A bit of a space between them out in front, at least a second between Dutch and Lewis. As they get through that, Durner's still being chased by Joseph's AI car at the moment. I think Zach just got past there as well, so he's coming on through. Have a look to see what's happening. We might have a few disconnected drivers here at the moment. Mogi now gets up into P8. He started down there in P20 on the grid, by the way, just in case you guys didn't remember that one there. He's all the way up into P8 after that VSC and however much positions he gained off of the race start itself. So far he's looking quite good for him. Out front, we got an extremely close gap right about now between the McLaren of Wayne there and Larson out in front of the Haas. That's looking pretty good so far. Let's have a look how close is Blomstrom behind, and he's trying to come around the McLaren at the moment on the start-finish straight. See, that's Martin driver now gets up into second place. We do have Wayne using that slipstream though. He's going to try to pull alongside him on the inside into turn 1 and possibly get back that position here, and he's going to have to outbrake him a bit and just force his way through, and he actually might be able to do this as he gets around into the next turn and he gets back to position, back up into second. We do have Blomstrom back down to third though, but a pretty good overtake he did around the parabolica, coming around back to the start finish straight to get into lap 4. He's going to have to line this up again and possibly try it again. Aaron Riley in fourth right about now. He's 2.9 seconds behind these guys, about almost over 3 seconds. He's trying to catch up to them as fast as he can, getting on through. Mogi here having a 2:10 gap to someone in front of him, and that's Zach, I think, there. Let's see how that's working out for him. I think he lost some time. Not even sure what happened here, but he did lose some time with that there. As we go further down the grid, we do have Joseph's car right now still looking disconnected from the session. Darnell's looks disconnected as well, so not sure what on earth is happening to these two if they're not able to get on back to the session. And we got Ellis coming here in 12th. He trying to get around these two ghosted cars if she can. We'll see how this works out. Of course, Ellis's teammate out in front leading the race at the moment, so she's trying to get up as much positions as she can getting through the session. And those two cars will remain ghosted, so we'll be able to drive on through. And this should be 2 positions to easily be gained. Of course, we got Decon coming just behind this as well. He's now up into 12, following through with Ellis. Darnell's is now down to 11. Still ghosted there as far as we know. No, he's not ghosted. Oh, sorry, that was Decon there. Where is Darnell's car? Yeah, he does look ghosted as it is there right now. We have... I think Joseph is now back online. He's back connected to his car, so the Ferrari driver trying to gain back his positions there, and almost a bit of contact, I think, between the two of them out in front here as they all get on through this. Get a Mercedes of Deadcon trying to push his way around the inside of that turn. Keeps side by side with the Ferrari, but has to hold back the position down in 11th. Still going to fight on through for this. Alice holding on to 9 by about 4 tenths out front. Not too much time, so still needs to try and be a bit careful with this. Got a bit of a glitching going on our side here as well, so hopefully what we're seeing on the glitch is not what's actually happening, but so far so good. Let's get on with the Ferrari out in front here and see how his connection is going at the moment. Hopefully stable, as he almost goes a bit wide on track. We might have had maybe a bit of warning for that. We got a bit of a change up out in front here as well. We got Wayne currently now leading the race. Where is our race leader who was currently there? I'm trying to have a look and see what on earth is happening out in front. We do have, Larson took a pit stop. He's now onto the soft tires to go to the end of the race. That's where they are to change up a bit. Didn't even notice that. Of course, Wayne out in front leading the race, but with a bit of a problem. He has a penalty right now, so we're going to switch on over to that super angry Dutch guy. He's getting into the pits, so we do have some pit stops that will start to happen around this point in the race, just getting to the halfway point, and they're going to get off the mediums or the softs and switch on to the opposite of whatever they're running on. I highly doubt anyone's going to be running on the hards at this point here, because it's going to be that much more slower as well. So Wayne currently leading the Italian Grand Prix here, first race of the season with LNR Esports, and looking pretty well for him as he continues to lead. Of course, does have to take a stop as well. The race leader did already take a stop. He's down in 14th and running, 1.3 seconds behind Gunners' car now. On first soft tires, with Angry Dutch guy behind of him by 2.6 seconds. Let's see when Wayne and Blumstrom decide to do a stop here, because they're running out front. 2.5 seconds separates them. A bit of a gap to most of the cars out in front. We're going to go back down here to Woody Rather. He is currently chasing after Depcon for P9 in this race. Let's see how that's working with them. Joseph just behind of that. I think he's back connected to this car still. About 7 tenths, 6 tenths on running. He's gaining some ground, hopefully. Still connected. We have the Alfa Romeo trying to pull around the outside, almost losing the car there. Still goes side by side with the Depcon there, and goes off track just a bit. I think he did not. Actually did not. Just looked like he did for a second. Depcon is down to 10th. Would you rather up to a 9th at the moment, and possibly going to hold on to that position. Bit of a gap between them as well. Joseph 6 tenths behind this. Is he disconnected once again from this car? Looks like he is. Zach there getting penalty. Lewis getting a penalty. We have a few drivers who are currently getting penalty. We have some pit stops happening with Zach and Monkey there as well. Gonna see how that works out for them. Let's have a look at our close gaps in just a bit. Let's switch this back on in front. Out in front, we still got Wayne leading the race. We got Blumchum still running second. Riley running third still. Haven't taken stops as yet. Anyone currently running 6 laps on their tires have not taken a stop as yet. Anyone below that has already taken a stop. You can see Ryan in Era 6 took an earlier stop in the race. And let's see how that strategy works for them, because they're going to have to now push the end of the race on that set of tires that are currently on. The mediums can actually do it, so I don't think they should have much trouble with that, because they might lose a bit of grip getting down to the end of the race. Wayne and Blumstrom here, and Riley as well, still waiting on these guys to do a stop at this point. Wayne, of course, going to go on to the softs to go to the end. Blumstrom and Riley might well have to go into the mediums, because they have to use 2 different tire compounds in the race. Kind of mandatory to do that, so they're on the softs. They're gonna have to go into the mediums to go to the end. Let's see when they decide to make that change. We got Lewis here in 5th in the Red Bull, chasing after Hendry in front of him, not getting as close of a gap as he expects at this point. Angry Dutch guy behind his teammate right now. Let's see if this is gonna be a switch between the AlphaTauri guys, as Angry Dutch guy is on the faster tires right about now, fresher tires that is, both on the softs, but Jackie has not taken his stop as yet. Of course, we'll have to do that stop, so let's see if he does allow his teammate to go by. Get Ellis in a bit, Lewis in a bit, and a few more truck drivers there as well. Lassie Larson up into 5th, previous race leader there, who started P1, now up into 4th. Let's see if it's going to be him getting back the lead of the race when the top 3 out in front decide to do their pit stops at this point in the race. Got a few more drivers in the pits. This is around the point where most of them will do their stops and then get to the end of the race on whatever tires they do switch on to. Looks like Ryan is out of the race there as well. Not sure what happened to his car exactly, if he retired in the pits or had a DNF on track. We do seem to have some connection issues with drivers as well. Hopefully all going well. Out in front, still got Wayne leading 3.7 seconds. Woody Rather 19.7 seconds behind of that. Larson about 2.5 seconds behind of them, as Angry Dutch guy about to get side by side with Depcon, and looks like he's going to get by and get that overtake done quite easily on those fresh tires. He's now ahead of the Mercedes into 6th. I'm going to continue on through Riley in front of him on fresh mediums there right now, so might have some trouble with that. Out in front, we do have, let's see what's happening here. So we got Wayne and Blumstrom both getting into the pits right now, going on to fresh tires. We got Woody Ryder still now in 3rd. He should be getting by that pit lane, get past them, and take over the lead of the race. Let's see if that's going to work. This is going to put Lassie Larson, of course, into 2nd. Possibly it will. Let's see what's happening here, as he has Blumstrom coming out just behind of him. And I think Wayne's serving a penalty in the pits. Or is he back out? No, I think he's back out. So he came back out into the lead actually. So it looks like Lassie Larson, who took an early pit stop, got a bit held up in a bit of traffic as he tried to get through all of that and get back out in front. this pit stop strategy might have worked out well for Wayne here, who started the race in second. He's not running in the lead even after taking his one mandatory pit stop. Would you rather not run in second? He still has to do a stop. 6 laps on the mediums. He's done a stop before. Let's see if anyone hasn't done a stop at this point in the race. So stops so far, looks like Durners might be the only driver who has not taken a pit stop in the race. We'll have to take one before the race actually ends. So Would You Rather took a stop already on the mediums. We're going to go to the end of the race with that. Of course, Lassie Larson on the softs, they're faster tires, so might have a bit more of an advantage in terms of trying to get past and go into second place. But we'll have to catch up to Wayne to possibly get away with the lead, and we'll have to have the pace. Might be hoping for some rain to start right about now and hopefully give him that advantage, because he seemed to be extremely fast down in the wets. Let's have a look at Longchamp right about now, chasing after the Haas in front of him. 410, 310 to now is where the gap is, having that really good run down the start finish straight using the slipstream. Now pulls it on the inside as much as he can, tries to gain some time here, down to a 3-4-10 still as he continues on through with this. Out in front here, Wayne and Would You Rather, a 5-10 gap between them, are migrating host at the moment as well here, so might be having some trouble on that end. So 810 is what it's currently up to. Let's see how that's going to work out. Turner is now into the pits. That's going to be our final driver who needs to take a stop. We'll take a stop there right now. We're on lap 10 of 13 for this 25% race getting on through. Let's see how this is going to work on out here. So getting very close down to the end of the race. Looks like we got Gingy back into the pits. Mogi taking another stop there as well. Down in 17th now. He's out of the race. Looks like he might have retired in the pits. Zach out of the race here as well. What's happened to his car? If we can have a look. Looks like we got possibly yellow flag situation going on here. And there's his car on track. Just possibly had an incident with the wall there, and not sure if that was self-inflicted or caused by another driver there. We got a yellow flag situation in that portion of the track right about now. Very close after the end of the race. I don't think we're going to have a safety car or VSC at this point. We're just going to continue on racing through. Looks like Would You Rather now up into second. Still holding on to that position. Lassie Dawson down there in third. He's only about 2 tenths behind right about now. So definitely trying to get this overtake done. But I don't think Would You Rather is going to make it that easy for him at this point. Possibly the closest gap we have right now, Angry Dutch Guy and Riley having a bit of a go as well. 3 tenths between the two of them, fighting for P6 in the race. Blomstrom gets another penalty there. Where is he on track? Running there in fourth. We're going to bring penalties online in just a bit and see what's happening with that. Actually, let's bring penalties online right about now and just leave it at that, and we can have a look and see how that works out with these guys. So Wayne still leading this race, 1.8 seconds out in front of Would You Rather. A bit of a gap, he can work with that, but of course has an 8-second penalty, will lose that lead. Would You Rather possibly looking at a potential win for this 25% race. Lassie Larson looking at getting second here. No penalties on his end, 5 tenths behind only. Blomstrom there, of course, a 3-second penalty, down by 2.2 seconds to Lassie Larson, and possibly looking at keeping P4. Riley might switch with him though. 5-second penalty, needs to get a gap down to make that switch happen. Oh, we'll have to keep P5 and Dutch Guy behind of that. Yes, about a few tenths now, gets up into P5 as he gets around the outside of the Alpine. They'll still find a side-by-side through for this as they get on back to the start finish train. This is going to be just a bit of a drag race down into turn 1 once again. The Alpine sticks behind the AlphaTauri, and he's going to now pull out on the inside, try to outbrake him possibly into T1. And might try to get back. He holds on to the position, doesn't want to risk it at this point. We're on lap 12 of 13, so very close off to finishing off this race. Out in front, back again with Larson here, 3 tenths behind, 2 tenths behind Would You Rather right now. We are down to 15 drivers remaining in the race, and we have 5 drivers out. Zach, Mogi, Gingy, Ryan, but I think a few of them might have just retired from the session, unfortunately. So leaves us with 15 to finish out the race. Hopefully we can have all 15 finish. Penalties with some of these drivers will affect their positions as they get across the finish line on the next lap. So let's see how that's going to work out as we get around to it. 3 tenths is what the gap is here, fighting for P2 to get across the line. P2 at least for now. If Lassie Larson gets into second place, that's going to be an automatic race win when they do get across the line, because with a 2.8 second gap to Wayne in front, he's going down, possibly down to third here. So these two are still fighting this through, and looks like going into the final lap here right about now, looks like the Haas driver might use a slipstream to his advantage and try to get around the Alfa Romeo here, and he's going to pull it around the outside Actually, he has the pace to get past. He now takes over second place in this race, which would potentially give him a win when he does get across the line, P2. Because Wayne out in front, unfortunately, gained too many penalties. I think if it was a 3-second penalty, would have cut it down just a bit close right now, with the gap being 2.6 seconds at this point in the race here. And I go down to Aaron Riley here. Where is he on track? Running in 6th behind the AlphaTauri of Angry Dutch guy. And he's possibly looking at getting an overtake done before they get around to the final sector of the track. If he can, let's see how this is going to work out. He's keeping it behind, doesn't want to risk it right now. And looks like Angry Dutch guy possibly has some problems. No, he's still running on track. Thought he went a bit wide for a second there. So it doesn't look like there's going to be too much of a change in that. Would you rather get another penalty? Actually, now gets a penalty. Actually, didn't have a penalty. A 3-second penalty now. So I'll keep him there in that position he currently has. Let's see how that works out with a gap between him and Wayne in terms for a third place on the podium. Still, either of them should be getting it. But on here with Wayne, who is now coming to go across the line, P1, of course, is going to lose that though. The Larson, who now goes across the line second and takes away the win. And it's the first win of the season here. Why is the race not finishing off? What is happening at the moment? Wayne was not a lap ahead of them, so I'm not sure why he's showing finish in the session. Let's switch this back on over here and see what's happening. We might having a bit of a glitch on my end. Alright, we're just gonna have a look at the results. I think we're being kicked off the lobby for some reason. I looks like Kendrick got driver of the day for that one, at least. For the 25% it's not too bad. I think that was a bit of a glitch on the game's side of it. I'm not sure if we'll be able to have a look at results here or just get straight over to the next session. I'll have a look at results all the way down at the end of the session to see who gained what at this point. Okay, so there we go. So results from the 25% race coming over to the 50% race. Now this is going to be a starting grid. I should hope so. Actually, let me just have a look at something. Make sure I just get this right. Anyway, forget about that. So this was the results coming from the 25% race. Lassie Larson finishing P1 takes the win away from Would You Rather, who got across. Sorry, from Wayne, who got across the line P1. Would You Rather has to settle for second place on the podium. So Wayne down to third. Blumchum takes fourth. Angry Dutch Guy was fifth. We got Riley was sixth. Got Hindry was seventh. Lewis in eighth. Ellis ninth. We got Deadcon 10th. Jackie 11. Donners 12. Era 6 13. Tunable in 15. We got JJ in 18th, I think it was. What was it? Why is it good artist showing that weird? I think we have a few drivers still yet to join on. That's why they're still not in positions as yet. But either way, we'll have a look at that as we get on through. But the grid order for the start of the 50% race is going to change up just a bit, because as it works. So the grid order is set by reversing top 10 finishers of 25%. So we're going to have to work with that in order to get the 50% race started. And then we're going to have one set of results with points at the end of the entire session here today itself. So we'll be able to have a better idea of that and have a look at that. At the start of next week's race session in qualifying, we'll have a look at the start of qualifying, what the full results for this week were, as the guys get that sorted through for me. So in the meanwhile, we're just waiting for everyone to just load through the session and get into their cars and whatnot, so we can get the 50% race on the way. And should be quite an interesting one. We're looking at a 2-stop, possibly a 3-stop here for some of these guys. It's going to be a 27-lap race for the Italian Grand Prix here for the 50%. So let's wait on that to get started. Just give us give the guys about 2 to 3 minutes more, possibly not more than 5 minutes at most. Okay, so getting started, the formation lap here for the 50% race, going to be 27 laps around the circuit here for the Italian Grand Prix. For this, going to be quite an interesting session. Try once again for this race session as everyone starts to get around. Looks like we only currently have 17 drivers in on for this one. When I go through our grid order just a bit, let me just get a few stats up on screen, and we can have a look on what's going to happen in this case here. So as we have it right about now, we do have a bit of a change up. As we said, the grid order is changed up with the top 10 coming from the 25% race. So we got Deadcon starting P1 on this one. Ellis will start second on the grid. Lewis starting third. Andrew starts fourth. Aaron Riley will start fifth. Angry Dutch Guy starts sixth. Blumchum will start seventh. Wayne in eighth. Would you rather there in ninth? And our previous race winner there for the 25%. Larson starts in 10th. Jackie will start 11th. Donner's 12th. Era 6 in 13th. Tunable in 14th. We got Gingy starting 15th, Ryan in 16th, and Butler in 17th on the grid. I'm just waiting for everyone to get around the track so we can get this race on the way and going. And let's see how well that's going to work. Okay, so I think we're about to get Reform back onto the grid. Let's just change a few things up here. I think I'm going to put that back on position changes once again and have a look and see how this restart is going to go between Deadcon and Ellis, and she's a bit worried about starting this high up on the grid. So yet another horse on the top three for the start of this race. Let's see how that's going to go with the Mercedes just on the left hand side there. So we're going to be on board with Ellis here through the at least for a few meters of this start here to see what's going to happen, who gets a better start going off the line between Deadcon and Ellis. And then we got Lewis, Hendry, and Riley behind that, Angry Dutch Guy as well. Quite a few more drivers coming on through, so this is going to get a bit interesting with the rundown into turn 1 for the start of the 50% race here now. Just waiting for those lights to start to go, and we will be going here. I think it's about to get started right there now. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see between Ellis and Deadcon who gets a better run. Looks like Ellis gets a bit of a better start, gets into the lead of the race already here. Deadcon now down to second, got a bit of a group order thing changing up, but 3 cars trying to go wide through turn 1 here. That's not going to end too well. Definitely might have some contact as they try to get on through. Get Aston Martin going wide, and a bit of contact between the Mercedes and the Red Bull there. That's Deadcon and Lewis, I think, getting through. Angry Dutch Guy down to the 4th and running. Ellis still leading out in front, gaining by about 9/10 right now, leading away. Lewis running in second, and then when he got up, I think he just started right there in that position. He gained a position going on up. Yeah, Deadcon is down 2 positions from the start of the race. Started P1. We got a Mercedes of somebody going wide. I'm not even sure who that was. Or was that the Alpha Tauri of Angry Dutch Guy possibly getting through there? So 7/10 is where the gap is out in front, with Ellis leading now. Lewis down into second, 6/10 behind, has a bit of a gap to work with. Deadcon down by 2.1 seconds, has some trouble. Now we got 4/10 behind, that is Angry Dutch Guy chasing after him, trying to get up a position there. We got Aaron Riley here under pressure from Hendry just behind of him. So still going to have to be extremely careful here. I think with the Williams coming behind, he is chasing after Angry Dutch Guy in front of him. 2/10 is where the gap is. Has the slipstream and using it as much as he can. No DRS advantage available in the races yet. Getting through the final sector of the track to get into lap 2. Let's see how this works out. Looking like a one-stop strategy in this race itself to get through that 27 lap, which definitely is possible provided we don't really have safety cars to deal with. And that's sort of situation. I think our leaderboard is changing up quite a bit. Not sure what's happening out there. Yep, it is changing up. We're only on lap 2, but it's saying lap 3, so that leaderboard issue possibly will never be fixed. And we're gonna have to just deal with that as it is. So we're still on with Riley at the moment here, chasing after. Who on earth is he chasing after at this point here right now? Is it Deadcon Cassandra? The entire leaderboard is mixed up. We're just gonna ignore that for the time being and get back on the hover camera. No Hendry is behind of him and running a pretty close gap as it is. Our leaderboard should be getting back sorted in just a bit. Got the McLaren of Wayne here chasing after Riley, I think it is right now. So we got quite a few cars going side by side through this sector of the track, and really not too much of a safe option at this point here. As you can see, the Alpine of Riley side by side with the McLaren of Wayne as he now gets out in front of him. So he's now out into 5th position. Gonna continue on through with that as he has it there. The McLaren still alongside here. He's still alongside the Alfa Romeo, trying to get by. He did get by and gets past the Alpine as well. He's now back out into 5th. I think a bit of contact down in the back there. Someone is having some trouble and might be Lassie Larson. I think that car just flipped into the air and dropped back down from what we saw in the background. And he's going to get back going. Not sure if it was his car or another, but doesn't seem to have any damage in the car as it is there right now. Out in front, to see what's happening here. We got the Red Bull, got the lead away from Ellis. He's not on to 2nd. Lewis now into 1st, and he's leading the race and going to continue on through with that. Bit of a gap between them. I see but a few tenths, not more than a second as far as we can see. We do have Hendry here running 3rd at the moment. Got the McLaren of Wayne just behind of him. Going to try to take that position away. Side by side we have Riley and the Mercedes of Detcon at the moment. So these two are still fighting down at the back here for a position. Let's have a look at them if we can at the moment here. Pretty close gap between the midfield at the moment getting on through this race onto lap 3. And some of these cars taking a bit on the inside as that Mercedes goes into the wall just a bit there. Did he take any damage? Oh, yep, he did take some damage, I think. Might have lost the end plate, and yes, he did. Loses the entire end plate. Goes a bit wide once again. Goes off track and gets back on. Detcon having some trouble with the car apparently at the moment. Keeps going wide because loses a lot of downforce with those end plates now gone. We're going to go back out in front with Woody Rather here, chasing after, who is it? Wayne, I think it is. Has Riley just behind of him, but still a pretty close gap with Wayne out in front, and Wayne has Hendry just in front of him. So 3 cars fighting for P3 in the race at the moment. Got 2 of them trying to go side by side, but still hold on to the position as it is. Wayne still in 4th, Woody Rather still in 5th. They now try to go side by side through that parabolic, getting around to the start finish straight. Almost looked like Woody Rather was into the pit wall there. He's now alongside both of these cars, just in the middle of them trying to get on through. He's trying to push it around the inside, not sure what's happening in the back here. Let's have a look. The Williams trying to keep the position, forcing him a bit wide, I think, and spins around. He's into the wall, loses the entire front wing. That's Hendry having some problems there. He's trying to get back on track, so he'll have to spin around. Going to be ghosted for a while until he does get that car stable back on track again, and he's going to try to continue through. Right here chasing after Woody Rather here, possibly trying to get that overtake done. Just about 2 tenths behind, not down to about 4 tenths. Out from Lewis still leads this race, Ellis still in 2nd. And of course that's where she started in the race. That switches back over to tires at the moment, so we can see what's happening with that case. I think we're going to leave certain features off the screen for the moment. Error 6 running there, 10-5-10 gap towards the car in front, and I think that's with tunable there. Let's see what's happening. In that case, a bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Williams in front of him. The Alpine gets alongside. See what's happening. I think that's Error 6 getting alongside him there. He's now up into 8th position. And looks like tunable trying to fight for 9th right now. Gets ahead of the Williams, who has no front wing, and that was Hendry there, who had a bit of an issue earlier on. Gonna try to get back to the pits if he can there. So unfortunate for that, but quite an interesting start. So clean throughout the most of the session so far. They had 2 clean race starts so far. No safety cars on either of them, so not too bad with the starts. Lewis still leads, Ellis in 2nd. Wayne still now running 3rd. He's about 2 seconds behind Ellis, still trying to catch up. Woody Rather in 4th, 1.2 seconds behind. Riley there in 5th, about 8 tenths behind. So he's within the DRS range at the moment, trying to keep it there as much as he can. Donner's there in 6th, of course. We'll see what that's going to work out. I think we're going to switch this back up to Riley, who was almost down to about a 3:10 gap. We have Ellis having some problems with the Haas here right now. Was in 2nd running, had a bit of an issue, might have lost the car. Not sure what happened, if he had contact with anyone, but now getting back going, running in 6th. And lost quite a few positions there. This, of course, is an advantage to Wayne, who's now back up into 2nd place and running. Woody Rather running in 3rd. Still about 9 tenths behind this at the moment as it is. Let's go them back to tunable here in 9th. See how close the gap is between him and Era 6 in front. 6 tenths is what it is right now. We're looking at Lassie Larson there in 12. About a 3:10 gap to Jackie in front of him. Goes a bit wide. Does he have damage on that Ferrari? So I'm trying to look at. Doesn't have any damage, but did go a bit wide on that there. Let's have a look here. Jackie down into 12 now, sorry. Larson up to 11th. It's going to continue on through that position there. Going to chase after Angry Dutch guy in front of him. Has a bit of a gap to catch up to right now. Let's have a look at Defcon here. Chasing after Blumchum. Trying to get up into 14th position if he can. Trying to keep that car from going too much off track as well there. Ryan down in 17th. 8 tenths behind Hindra. He's running down in last place at the moment. Trying to keep up as much as he can. Only one driver with a penalty so far in this race. And that's Butler so far. They're running in 13. Got the McLaren going a bit wide here, but does get the overtake done. Will that hold? Let's have a look. And looks like it does actually hold. We're going to get back out in front with Woody right here. 6 tenths is what the gap is. Chases after the McLaren of Wayne in front. 5 tenths is what it's down to right now. He's continuing that chase. He's running on the soft tires, of course. So as we're looking at the one-stop strategy, most of these cars in the race as well. It might be a two-stop if they take some damage, which a few of them have taken so far. Getting a bit close between these two, but let's see how close it's actually going to get. 5 tenths is what it's down to right now. And this, of course, fighting for P2 in the race. And we do have Lewis just in front of that, so just, I think, fight for P1 here as well as they get on through this. A bit of a close gap between as the McLaren catches up to the Red Bull going into turn 1. Might try to pull it on the inside. Does he think about it? No, and doesn't actually push it for that position. Gonna just keep it there right on the rear of the Red Bull getting through. Gonna possibly line it up for the next lap to try and get an overtake done. It's gonna have the DRS advantage here as well. And this is, of course, going to be for the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Let's see if he gets away with this. On the mediums, 2 tenths behind, now down to just under that. Of course, they do have Woody Ryder in the Alfa Romeo chasing behind. So 3 cars fighting for a position here. We got Aaron Riley coming here P4, 3.8 seconds behind. That's a bit of a way to actually catch up before he gets anywhere near these guys here. I think he's losing a bit of time as well, so he needs to work on that. And these 3 here trying to keep it as calm as they can, getting on through this current lap. That McLaren looking for a gap right about now in this current lap. Currently on lap 7 of 27 as they get on through the final sector, about to get into lap 8. Let's see how this is going to run down that start finish straight where they're going to have the DRS advantage with the exception of Lewis, of course, out in front. Leading the race, he's not going to have any DRS advantage, but the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo behind both will have against each other. So let's see how this works out. A tenth is what the gap is between Wayne and the Red Bull. He now pulls alongside him and is going to get by. He's now up into the lead. We do have Woody Ryder getting into second place as well. Uses that slipstream and the DRS advantage. Gets alongside the McLaren. Let's see who gets on through with this. Bit of contact between the two of them as they get on through. Still side by side. At the exit of that turn, the Red Bull coming behind back of them. Lewis is going to possibly trying to get back his position as Zizou's still fighting for the lead right now. Currently, Wayne holds on to it. Will be a bit of a switch by switch as they still go a bit side by side. Looks like the Alfa Romeo might have to slot into second place for now and continue that chase. But Wayne did an excellent job of actually getting the overtake done, taking away the lead. Woody Ryder had a pretty good advantage of following through with the DRS advantage and the slipstream to get past Lewis and get into second place here. Lewis, of course, only 5 tenths behind, so still has a pretty good chance of getting back here into the lead. Just depending on what's happening with these 2 cars in front of him. I think he's keeping a close eye on that at this point here. Having them fight for position takes away the lead from the McLaren. He's now up into P1. We got Wayne having some problems down in the back here. Where is he? He's gotten off track. He might have taken some damage to the car. Not sure if he did. Let's have a look. No, actually everything seems to be intact so far. So he's going to continue on through. Lewis is now a second behind Woody Ryder, who's currently leading the race. So the Red Bull driver looking to get back into the lead. He's gotten past 1 car. Now 1 more to go. We got Aaron Riley now down to 2.3 seconds where this gap is between him and Wayne there, who has some trouble for a few seconds ago. Dunner's another 5.9 seconds behind. So still a bit of catching up to do down at the back. The Angry Dutch guy chasing after Larson about 6 tenths. And I think he's going to try and continue that chase. The Red Bull here, of course. So let's have a look at this gap. 1.6 seconds. Let's see how long he actually takes to break this down. Both of them running on the same strategy right about now. Same set of soft tires, same amount of laps done on them. So let's see who the advantage goes to. It's now up to 2.1 seconds. Woody Ryder gaining some time right now. If Lewis can get within the DRS range here, he might get some advantage out of this. But needs to be within a second of the car in front of him to have that advantage at this point. You see most of our gaps are starting to increase as we get on through this. We're going to go down to the midfield of the grid with Larson here chasing after Era 6 in the Alpine. Let's see how that's working out for him. And bit of a glitching going on that end. Era 6 down to 10th. Had a bit of an issue for a second there, not sure what happened. But looks like he's disconnected from the car. So Larson is up to 9th. And he's going to continue on through in the race. I think our gaps are starting to go just a bit right now. And gaps might continue to be as they are right about now until we start to see some pit stops here. Now we're getting on to lap 10. We're going to get to a point in the race very soon in the few laps 10 where some of these guys who are running on the sauce will possibly have to take their one-stop strategy and take that pit stop to take them going onto the mediums to push the end of the race. We'll see how that's going to work for them, but at the moment as it is, it's looking pretty good for Woody Rather out in front. Lewis chasing after him, trying to get back into the lead, but he's losing time right now. 3.9 seconds is what it's down to, and Wayne is catching back up to that Red Bull. He's now 7/10. He's now within the DRS range here as well. So we're going to have that advantage going through the next lap. And possibly down that start finish straight might be able to get that position back. We keep seeing Riley coming down behind here, 3.2 seconds behind. He needs to catch up and follow the McLaren through to possibly get up into third place in this race if he can here. I got Tunable there getting a 4:10 gap between him and Ellis there. Ellis now down to 7. Might have had some trouble there. So have a quick look at that, see what happened there to the Haas driver. Seems to be a bit disconnected from the car. Not sure what's happening on that end. Let's get back out in front here with the McLaren of Wayne at the moment. So far looking pretty good as he gets on through with this current lap here. 7/10 is what that gap is. Getting around back onto the start finish straight. Let's see if he gets a slipstream of the Red Bull, and of course the DRS advantage as well. Let's put that on. Let's put telemetry on. We usually don't put this on, but let's see how that is working out. Uses the DRS advantage and takes it all back actually. He's getting a pretty good run against the Red Bull. Might try to land it up on the next lap here. Doesn't want to waste too much of that ERS at the moment. He's going to hold on lap 11. Or it might just be waiting for a pit stop opportunity to possibly get an advantage here. Let's see what the strategy is going to be. Bit of a change between Tunable and Larson there. And there goes Lewis. Gets up into second place against the McLaren. But I think he had a bit of a different strategy on mind for that in terms of getting that overtake done. Did not want to use all of the ERS on the overtake, so they worked pretty well for him. Got another DRS range coming up pretty soon where Wayne is going to get the DRS advantage here right now. Side by side, these two go down that straight. And looks like the McLaren gets back up into second. Another switch between them. Lewis back down to third in the Red Bull. 5:10 gap is what it is. It's going to be a switch by switch in just a bit. The McLaren just went a bit wide there. Hopefully able to keep that position at least for now. And they're about to go around the start finish straight once again. Let's see if Lewis in the Red Bull, we're going to get on board with him. If he's going to get an advantage down the start finish straight, and looks like he's going to take his pit stop. Blumchum is out of the race. Unfortunately, something happened down there in sector 1. We got a virtual safety car for that, and the perfect time that Lewis took a pit stop here. He's going to save some time on this and get back out and possibly be able to gain a position here with this as well. A few cars down in the back might be able to take pit stops during this. It's a full safety car. So Lewis chose actually the perfect time to go in for a pit stop here. I'm not sure if he knew about the incident there, what happened with Blumchum, but that's caused a full safety car on track. And that's going to save him a lot of time. Durners and Tunable into the pits here as well. Out in front, Woody Radern takes over the lead. Wayne Elron is in second. Aaron Riley running in third. And this is going to change things up just a bit. Just see what's happening here because I'm seeing different stuff on my screen for some reason. Oh, there we go. So they're getting past the safety car right now and going back around. Where is Woody Rather? As he gets around here, let's see if he is going to do a pit stop at this point. Wayne running second, Riley running third. They might be end up taking a stop at this point. I think this is the point in the race where they might just want to take that stop and maybe try to get some advantage in terms of saving time during the pit stop here. But it happened at a pretty interesting time as well. Exactly the same time that Lewis was going into the pits to get a set of tires change of those cars. So advantage to him on that. Not sure if he knew about the incident with Blumchum causing a VSC, but I highly doubt even if he knew about that, he thought it was going to change into a full safety car at that point. But either way, strategy is working out well for him so far because we got Woody Ryder, Wayne, and Aaron Riley into the pits. Where is Lewis on track? Getting around Sector 3 right about now. Let's see how this is going to work out here. Because remember, he cannot be running at full speed. Of course, I think those guys might be able to get back out in front of him. He's on the hard tires to go all the way to the end of the race here. So going to be running in a pretty good position here. Still should be in P4 as he gets around that start finish straight. And it's going to continue on in P4. So Woody Ryder takes over the lead. Went on to a fresh set of mediums. Aaron Riley up into second. He's on to a set of hards there. Wayne on a set of hards as well into third. Lewis now into fourth. Took a stop in the previous lap before the safety, exactly when the safety car happened. Larson up into fifth on mediums. Tunable in sixth on mediums. We got Darners going on mediums. He's running down in eighth now. Butler up into seventh. I don't think he's on a stop as yet. I think he's on a previous stop, but he's on 8 laps on those hards so far. So might not be taking a stop right about now. Let's see where the rest of the grid are at. Gingy there in 8th. We get Angry Dutch guy in 9th right now. Took a stop there. Ellis took a stop down in 10th on the hards. Jackie there running on the mediums. Anyway, let's see how this is going to change up at the end of this current safety car that we're currently running behind here, following on board with Woody Ryder at the moment. Ryder running second, of course, Wayne in third, top 3 as we have it. Running on a bit of an interesting strategy. Of course, they're going to push all the way to the end of the race here now, but of course, Woody Ryder going to have a bit more difficult time being on the mediums and having another 13 laps to go. But I think he's going to pull it off. They were pulling off softs and mediums on the past 13 laps, so definitely going to be able to make it through all the way to the end of the race, but they're going to have to push quite a lot, especially him, in terms of keeping the lead, because Riley and Wayne are going to be directly just behind of him after that restart happens when the safety car goes in, trying down the start finish straight as much as they can with a slipstream advantage to get ahead of him. So either way, we're going to wait for that safety car to go on in and we can see what's going to happen at the end of that. And I don't think that's going to be at the end of this lap, possibly at the end of the next lap. So hopefully by lap 15, we should be able to get back racing. Gives us at least about 12 laps or so of racing to finish off this race. Okay, so getting around to the sector 3 of lap 14, let's have a look and see. Are we good? I didn't really pay attention to the screen before going back in on this current lap here, but let's just have a look and see if the safety car is going to go away or not. Just going to keep on board a bit with Woody Ryder here and see what's going to happen. Just making sure everything is okay on the Discords and to see if anything's changed under the safety car so far as we're getting through. So one more lap under the safety car as it seems. We're going to go back racing at the end of lap 15. That means into lap 16 here now. Did Larson disconnect? Let's have a look here. Yep, Larson is disconnected from the game right about now on my end at least, because I see he's asking if he's disconnected. Does show disconnected on my end. Let's have a look from behind with Tunable. Yep, he's showing disconnected on the game itself. Might be having some trouble with connection issues there. Hopefully gets that sorted before the end of this current lap so we can get back on the race restart and possibly be able to gain a few positions there. Okay, so there we have a safety car is going to be in at the end of this current lap. We're about to go back racing into lap 16. Got Woody Rather leading, Aaron Riley running second, Wayne running third. First race of the season, the first session of the season. 2 races with this session. 25% for the first race. We got a 50% race running now for the second. We seem to be having some cars having some trouble on track, or at least it's looking that way on my end. Got a lot of weaving going wrong. Let's see what's going to happen as they get around to this restart. I think we're just waiting for Would You Rather to just get this race back on the way, and let's see how the restart goes with the cars currently on track. I think he's about to go for it there right now. We got Wayne there, of course, with a McLaren. A pretty close gap with him and Aaron Riley as they get on down into turn 1. He's going to try to go side by side with that Alpine. Let's see if he's going to try to outbreak him into turn 1. And tries to go side by side, does have some contact with him. Still has to hold on to P3 as he gets on through with this. We got the Red Bull of Lewis still in P4, following on behind with these guys. I'm going to try to get back his position if he can. Has Larson coming here, P5. Did he get back online? He is connected back to his car before that race got started, so good on that for him. Got Tunable though trying to get around there. I think Butler behind trying to get a position as well. Let's see what's happening down in the back. So between these two, I've had almost a bit of contact, I assume, with what was happening there. 2 drivers out of this race so far. 15 remain as we get on through with the rest of it. We got Lewis is up into P3. Larson up into P4. Aaron has lost 2 positions so far. Not sure what's happening with him here. Did he take any damage on the car? So far, it doesn't seem like he did. He's not running down in P5, though. Was running P3 at the restart of that, after that safety car there. And we do have Butler into the wall down in the back. He might have lost the rear because I didn't see him have contact with another car. That might be a full safety car. Yep, it is a full safety car. Getting on through this, we might possibly see some more pit stops here as they get around on lap 16, might about to get into lap 17. Let's have a look out in front. Are we having pit stops happening? No, we're continuing on. We do have Wayne and Larson into the pit, so a few drivers are getting in for pit stops on this final chance that they will get here. Getting around for this, so let's see what's happening. Would You Rather goes past the safety car is going to get around possibly here and then get back around to go behind a bit. Let's see how that's going to work out. We got a rally going around the safety car there now as well. They all get around and we'll go all the way around the track and then get back behind the safety car. Let's see how this is going to work out for them here. You have a few cars who went into the pits. Is everyone going past the safety car? Yep, everyone is going past because they're waiting for at least I think everyone's going past. I have absolutely no idea at this point here right now. So we're getting around. Currently on lap 17, just got over 1 safety car, currently under another. After that incident with Butler getting into the wall there, that car was kind of stuck on track just a bit. So unfortunate for him with that. We're now left with 14 drivers, of course, in the session. Okay, so back on with this, let's have a look on the overcam, see what's going on for the session so far. So still under that safety car and running, we might see a few more pit stops in the meanwhile we get on through this. But let's get penalties online and see what we got going on. So at the moment, Gingy having a 3-second penalty, error 6 with a 3-second, waiting with a drive-through penalty, which I think he's complaining about must possibly have been given this by the game under no circumstance. It does happen sometimes with a glitch. Larson there, 5-second penalty for him. We got Lewis there, 3-second drive-through penalty for Ryan there as well. So not sure how these drive-through penalties have been given. If they're going to dispute that with the stewards at the end of the session, we'll see what's going to happen with that either way. Let's get back on to position change at the moment. Looks like 2 people there as Kane, the most positions in this race so far. Possibly looking at getting driver of the day here this evening as well. Would you rather gain 8 positions to be up there in P1? So not a bad race for him so far, as he's currently leading this. And he's going to be leading into the final 10 laps of the race there as well when we're ready to get back started with this. So we're going to get back on the tires and see what we're currently on and working with. Let's switch this back here. So Woody Randall currently in P1. We got Aaron Riley currently second. Tunable currently third. That's our top 3 currently running under the safety car, possibly the final safety car for the session. And looking at possibly being on the podium here as well. With a bit of a strategy between the 3 of them. We got Angry Dutch Guy in 4th, Jackie running 5th, Gingy in 6th, Dunner 7th, Arrow 6 in 8th. We got Ellis running in 9th. Started second in the race, got up into P1 before even turn 1, but unfortunately had a bit of an incident and lost that position. Now down into 9th. Wayne there running in 10th, Ryan running 11th, Detcon in 12th, got Lewis in 13th, Larson in 14th, and those 3 down at the bottom were fighting for positions quite often in the race up. Let's see if they'll be able to gain that back on the final few laps of this race. We're about to get into lap 19 at this point here. Right now should be the final lap under the safety car. As we get around to this, I see we do have somebody getting into the pits here, I think. Possibly Jackie getting in to final pit stop, so hopefully that's going to be that, and let's see how that works out. Or possibly, I'm not sure what they're going in for. Absolutely no drive-through penalty will be served during the safety car. They're going to have to wait until that's over before they serve the drive-through penalties, and 2 drivers currently we have with those, so let's see what happens in that case there. So already a bit of drama getting on in terms of issues going into the report room for the stewards to deal with here. We're going to have to deal with that after the race either way, but at the moment we're going to get on with the session as it is for now. To finish off this session pretty soon, we're on lap 19. We're getting back racing into lap 20. That's going to give us approximately about 8 laps of racing to deal with just to finish off the race. So we'll see how that final 8 laps is going to go. Just waiting for that restart to happen, as the safety car should be going in at the end of this current lap. We're waiting for it to get into sector 3, which is should in just a bit somewhere down at the end of this straight portion of the track here. And we should be able to have an idea if we're going back racing right now or not. I think that we're going on another lap under the safety car. Has been an interesting session so far. So if you guys did miss it, we started off with a short qualifying session and got into a 25% race. Now we're on to the 50% race here, and safety car is going to go in on the end of this lap. 3 drivers out of this race, unfortunately. Our 25% race did have 20 drivers in it, so that was quite interesting to see as well. Was quite a busy track during that qualifying session, and was a wet qualifying session as that. Lawson had a lot of fun with it, got P1 on that session, so I don't think he was too disappointed with that. Also got the win for the previous race, so let's see how it works out for this session for him. Currently down in 13th, not looking the best. Would you rather still leading here? 3 tenths behind him. We got Aaron Riley at the moment. Let's see how the restart is going to go with these 3 trying to get side by side with each other already here. Got Woody Ryder trying to get out in front. Got a Ferrari tunable chasing after the Alpine in front of him. Let's see how this goes down into turn 1. Angry Dutch Guy, they're trying to get side by side with both of these cars and might try to push it on through the inside. The Ferrari trying to push it on the inside of the Alpine. He might get a position up here. He's going to be up into 2nd place if he does hold that. Actually does hold it true. Got the AlphaTauri of Angry Dutch Guy trying to get behind here. He's trying to get side by side with the Alpine. Not going to be able to pull this off though. He's left enough room. And he actually does get it by just because of the room that was left there for him. So Aaron Riley not forcing it too much. He's, of course, is on the hard tires pushing to the end of the race for this right now. 6 lap down on them so far. I'm not sure why he didn't get on a set of mediums possibly. But let's see what the situation is going to be as they get on the radio. Woody Ryder continues to leave out front, 1.5 seconds. Still a bit of a gap to work with for him. 3:10 is what is between Angry Dutch Guy and Riley at the moment as they continue on through this race. Tunable out in front by about 2:10, so he's looking at possibly losing that position as the AlphaTauri was having a look on the inside of that turn. He might have a look down the start finish straight here as we're about to get in just a bit, so let's see how that's going to work. 2.1 seconds out in front for Tunable to catch up to the race leader, and he's having a bit of a go with that. Not breaking that down as fast as he would like at this point. Ryan is out of the session, and I think that's happened somewhere there in Sector 3. Angry Dutch Guy is now out of the session here as well. That's 2 more drivers out. We're down to I think it's down to 12 drivers right now. We got another safety car for that because that's 2 drivers in 1 current lap there, and that's going to put a pause on all the overtakes that were about to happen getting down into that start finish straight. A lot of drivers are going to be upset about that. Some of them are going to be happy. Oh, so we're going to continue on. Final safety car possibly of the race session. So 3 safety cars, one after the other, not too bad in terms of getting them one after the other here. And we do seem to be having some connection issues in terms of the driver's end though on the session, which have been causing a few incidents here as well. Either way, we're possibly going to have a bit of a short safety car here. I thought this probably would have been maybe a VSC for 2 cars having an incident there, but I guess too much debris on track, so they had to deem it a full safety car for this. So Woody Ryder still leads the race. Tunable now into second. Got Donald's now running third. Aaron Riley down to fourth. Got Era 6 running in fifth. Gingy running sixth. Larson running seventh now. Got Jackie in 8th, Detcon running 9th, Ellis in 10th, Lewis in 11th, Wayne in 12th, as it is. Definitely some connection issues on some of the drivers, and having a bit of a delay on the streaming here as well, because I just actually noticed that there. Welcome to Cars FSJ on the stream. Thanks for joining on the chat. Okay, so it should be the final safety car in the session. Let's see what's going to happen with the 12 drivers that we have remaining here on this 50% race getting down to the end. Safety car hopefully is going in at the end of this current lap. Give us about at least 5 laps of racing to work with before we do finish up the race. Let's see what's going to happen in that case. Definitely still some connection issues happening, as we can see getting on through with this. Let's see, as we're about to get into sector 3, see if we're going to have, and you got quite a few more 5-second penalty happening, severe collisions happening between drivers under the safety car itself, so not sure what's going on with that. We're into sector 3, haven't seen any notification that we're going to have that safety car go in as yet. So are we going, seriously going another lap under the safety car? But I guess because I would assume it's because 2 of the drivers were out on the exact same lap, resulting in a full safety car for this. Oh, and let's welcome Kaz FSJ as becoming a new member of the channel there. Glad to have him on. Thank you very much for joining as a member. Hopefully we can have some more of you guys join on as well. We're going to have to definitely get back onto that stuff and have that sorted through. But thanks for joining on. Happy to have you on. Let's see what's happening here. Are we still going one more lap? Yep, it looks like we are going one more lap under the safety car. I was hoping you would have just made it a short one. Now we could have 5 laps of racing. Looks like it just probably going to be just 4 laps of racing to finish off the Italian Grand Prix here. So still, Woody Ryder still leads behind this. I'm quite sure a few drivers are not too happy about the safety car, the final one that we have happening here. This should of course take us to the end of the race after this goes in though. Strategy as it is, we can see some of these guys still running on the tires that they changed quite a few laps ago. They're going to have to finish the race on them, because if they do take the chance of taking a stop at this point, they lose positions, quite a lot of positions, which they will not get to gain back with the few laps that we have left here. And Ellis disconnected and not getting back on the session, unfortunately, happened sometimes just it's how it goes. So I think the car should be disconnected if you get on here. Yep, disconnected. Well, let's see what the AI is going to finish here with the car itself. I highly doubt there's going to be any points if as though with a disconnected car to get to the end, but does happen quite a lot in this session. I mean, there's so many issues still happening in the game that we're not getting fixed. I think everyone was hoping that the last update that they had, I think was the update was about a day or two ago. I think everyone was hoping we had the new tracks added on the game, but apparently it was not. I heard we're having that probably in September, or I'm not sure when we're having that added. But hopefully pretty soon, because I think everyone's going to be a bit excited to get onto the new tracks as well and have those in the race session. We're getting back into sector 3 here now. Let's have a look. Are we going back racing, or are we just going to finish the race under a safety car at this point? Getting a bit upsetting with the whole safety car thing not finishing. Oh, there we go. So that's going to be going in at the end of this lap, and we can get back racing at the end of this. 4 laps of racing, 4 exciting laps of racing. They're going to be pushing like crazy through this. We might see a bit of incidents getting through the final 4 laps here. We'll see how that's going to go with them, because these guys are going to be pushing as much as they can, trying to gain positions. We know Woody Rather out in front, 1.2 seconds ahead. He's going to have a pretty close gap with Tunable chasing after him, who's now trying to get as close behind of him as he can here before this gets back on through, and they're back onto the start finish straight here already. Let's see how this is going to go. A bit of a glitch, as you can see, guys, going on. It's a 1 second gap between them as they get on down to the start finish straight. We're trying to have a look with the cars coming behind. We got both Alpines running 4th and 5th just behind each other, so they're looking at getting some serious points here for the constructors itself and also for the drivers championship on the first race of this season. At the moment, we got a Red Bull or someone. Lewis having some problems at the back there. I think he's gaining a position, or he loses a position. I think he's got past Ellis's car. He's now up into 9th. Larson, I think, just gained a position there as well, up into 5th. Let's have a look what's happening in the back here, because out in front, a bit of a gap with most of the cars getting on through. Trying to have an idea what's happening. Wayne here chasing after the Red Bull of Ginty here. Is he going to get by? We got cars just disappearing and appearing all over the track with the glitches that are happening. We're going to have to just deal with that for the time being as it is, and almost a bit of contact, I think, between these two as they get on through. I think the McLaren definitely trying to get around, having a bit of a hard time. He's going to take it around the outside though, and hopefully a better run down that straight will push him on through up into 6th position, which it does actually. And Aaron Riley down to 5th right now. He's lost a position. Let's see what's happening out front. Larson up into 2nd. If that's correct at the bone. It looks like it is correct, as well. Woody Rather is out in front by 3.9 seconds into lap 24. And he has a pretty decent gap working here. Larson has a lot of work to do if he's going to catch up. I don't know what's happening between Tunable and Larson up front. I think they're still side by side trying to fight for that position here. And yep, they are. They do have Donald's trying to get in the middle of this as well. We have the Haas still holding on to P2. 2 cars side by side behind of him. Doesn't look like that might end too well. Just depends on how they go. I think they're trying to go 3 wide into turn 1, which is not advisable at this point in the race here. As they get on through that quite easily. Larson holds on to 2nd. Tunable holds on to 3rd. Donald's in for 4th. And we have Riley into 5th coming through. He's trying to hold on to a position side by side with the McLaren of Wayne to get Oh, we got a Ferrari thing going wide in terms of getting P4 or P5. Got about 4 to 5 cars fighting for a position. So let's see how this works out between them. Got Riley down behind. He's going to be chased by Lewis, but Lewis has a bit of a gap behind, so I think we're not going to worry too much about him at this point. But Riley, though, 310 gap to Wayne in front. Wayne with a 210 gap to Tunable in front of him. Let's keep on with this three at the moment. This might go quite interestingly to go to the end here. We got somebody down in the back. I think that's Gingy. They're having some trouble with the Red Bull. Had a bit of a yellow flag in sector 2. Still going on through with this. And that Ferrari is still holding on to P4 at this point in the race. We got Wayne in the McLaren getting a bit impatient at this point here. He doesn't want to get up that position if he can. Of course, has to be worried about Aaron Riley behind of him, coming about 3 tenths behind. This is going to get a bit interesting between them side by side with the McLaren and the Ferrari getting through. Aero 6 and Detcon out of the race. What happened to them down at the back? Not even sure at this point. Can we have a look? I think we're too far off to have a look at this point. I think both of them might have had a contact with each other and possibly taking each other out of the race. Top 10 only remaining so far. All top 10 should be getting points except for Ellis here, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Not sure if we're getting any points. Does not finishing the race, driving the car itself. It's an AI currently driving. Let's see, did she get back on? Nope, still not connected. Got Gingy into the pits. Car will probably finish 9th on the grid as it is. Let's get back on with Wayne though here, chasing after Tunable side by side with the Ferrari still. And they're fighting for P4 at the moment to get to the end of this. Of course, Larson with a penalty. We'll see how that works out. We're on lap 26 right now. We do have the Alpine of Aaron Riley just behind of these two. still fighting for that position. We're going to switch this on over the penalties, leave it at that. It's a 5-second penalty currently for Larson out in front in second. Would you rather having a bit of a gap, still leading the race, 2.2 seconds. Looks like he has a pretty good chance of taking a win here for the Italian Grand Prix for the 50%, so not too bad with that finish if it's going to go that way for him. Larson, though, looking at possibly still finishing second. The Dunners are having a 6.2 second gap, even having a penalty, and did we just have another glitch? Because we're still running on the penultimate lap, so I'm not even sure what just happened there. We might have just had another glitch and got kicked from the session as well. I've seen that happen once before. They might have to just work with it currently, what results they had there. Let's have a look, see what's happening. And either way, whether we get results or not, we're going to have a look at results down with the next session. I don't think we're getting results on this. So unfortunately, guys, a bit of a glitch on that end. We're going to have to let it be as it is there right now. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for the session here, because unfortunately I think we're going to be able to have a look at the full results here for the session, since because of glitches on both lobbies for the races so far. We'll have a look at the results for everyone on round 2 next week. But thank you guys for joining on the session. Thanks again to Cars FSJ for joining as a member of the channel, and for all of you who joined on to watch the race live here. And I know most of the drivers will be watching the race afterwards, so hopefully everyone enjoys that. Bit of a connection issue with audio on the start of the qualifying session. I think halfway through is where the audio actually started through that, so apologies about that in advance. But anyway, thanks you guys for joining on the session. We'll see you guys on the next session, which should be, I'm not sure, oh yeah, it should be tomorrow evening. We'll have another race session then. So do join the Discord. Link is in the description of the video, so you can have a look at the schedule, what we got going on. It's been updated yesterday, so we'll be updated on a daily basis or weekly basis if you needed to, just to keep up to date with what leagues we are currently streaming for and what time. Of course, all times will be on Eastern, so you guys gotta convert that to possibly British Standard Time or whatever time zone you're currently running on. Once again, I think that's gonna be it for the session, guys, and we're gonna end the stream here and have a look at results on the next round here for LNR Esports, or possibly post them up in the Discord as well when the guys do get that sorted through.